I think that's why they favor Dark here. Dark's also been a player who's been highly in Korea, spoken of by players like Boxer himself, who was coaching SKT at the time when he was brought into the team. He's a former Slayers player, so there's a lot of hype behind that. And I think just in general, this guy has some potential.
Yeah, I definitely agree that he has potential. But over here, we are having the guy he's going against is Dream. Or no, you were just talking about Dream. I'm sorry.
No, I was talking about Dark.
You were talking about Dark. Okay, I'm like all over the place right now. But Dream over here is 4-4 and 3-2 versus Zerg, so a pretty decent record right now for him. But as we said, a guy with pretty decent potential, but hasn't really broken out into the top tier rankings there. But definitely a very strong Terran that MVP has in their pocket, and they're gonna put him out first tier.
He looks depressed, man. He looks actually like really stressed out. I'm really curious to see how he does today. The map is Merry-Go-Round LE, our 3-player map. Let's find out which one of these teams is going to take an early lead here at the SPL.
LTA는 SK텔레콤.
Down here in the south on Merry-Go-Round in the orange for SK Telecom, the Zerg player, it is Dark.
His opponent in the teal to the top left for MVP, it's Dream. Looking like he's not in the best condition today. And we'll see. He's so focused on drop harassment, on multitasking, especially in this matchup, that he needs to make sure he can stay focused going into this one, because when you're playing that type of style in this matchup, you have to be on top of everything. If you're not going to try to hit a timing or wait until your upgrades are done and just move out on creep, if you're not going to play that style, you need to be constantly attacking. It's not an easy thing to pull off, and that's why not every player plays that way. You have a player like Fantasy who plays so much that way that he can't actually macro at home. Misses depots and stuff. It's very different. So Dark hasn't played since about a year ago, actually, in Pro League, as you can see. So no whole lot of stats on him in here. And didn't actually play that many televised matches in his career in team leagues in the GSTL either, but he has played some notable individual league matches. So if you want to look that up, I'd recommend a resource that we talk about quite a bit here at Pro League called Liquipedia. Go to liquipedia.net, and you can actually go and click on the StarCraft 2 section, look up all sorts of information that's updated pretty regularly, pretty quickly. And in fact, you can update it yourself if you want to help out and volunteer. It's just one of those wikis that has total volunteer-based stats and information. And if you actually go to the website, you might find yourself lost in it, looking up old stats from like the early days of StarCraft 2, or if you end up going to the Brood War section, then oh man, you're going to find some serious history in there.
You start falling into quicksand when you go over there. That's what begins to happen to you. Here we do have Dark going for a hats first, following that up with a spawning pool, and Dream going pretty standard here. Gonna go for that Reaper. It's pretty good on this map. It's 3-player, not just 2-player. But seeing the direction that this Overlord is coming in, actually, he's gonna know right away. So he's gonna send that Reaper in the direction of the south, of course, to get a scat on the Zerg.
I just noticed that Dream temporarily took his hands off the keyboard. I wonder why he's so nervous going into this matchup. I mean, Dark is definitely the favorite by the Korean commentators, and also is on a team that's very, very solid. Has good Zerg players like Su, a GSL champion, or actually not champion, champion attempter, double-time finalist. Poor Su. I always feel like he is a champion because he's at that level, but he just still didn't win. He didn't win yet.
Yeah, not yet. We'll see if he eventually does. It'd be nice to see it here.
Now, Dream does the Dream Bunker. And it's called the Dream Bunker because only Dream does this consistently in Pro League with his Reapers. Really likes to get that extra damage done with the Reapers, and only costs him a little bit of his production for a short period of time. It delays his command center a little bit, but he can force additional lings this way, and he can always fall back to it. And it's actually stopping mining right now at the natural because you can't really get any drones down there.
Yeah, this is 100% worth it. If you look at how many Zerglings are made right now, I think it's about 10, instead of the normal maybe 4 or 6 that you like to see. And there's just no mining right now. He's eventually going to be able to clean this up once the 2 queens come down here as well as the Zerglings. But, he's just going to be able to salvage that, get his money back, and so much damage done for just 25 minerals.
Yeah, and look at that. I mean, Well, I want to say, like, what you said about the just 25 minerals, you have to keep in mind, too, that it did delay his command center. Because in StarCraft 2, money is, like, it's not just about the money, it's about how fast you get the money. That's why the mule is powerful, right? Because eventually the minerals that you get from the mule, you would have gotten by SCVs anyways. Oh! That was scary.
Oh my god, this one Reaper.
Oh, wow, he messed that up a little bit. And what is he doing here? Really wants to check the gas, I guess? Okay, well, he does get that. That's a great scout.
Yeah.
I was like gonna say like that was a poor choice, but actually it works out and ends up being pretty great for him there. But yeah, I mean it's only a little bit of delay on the command center. He forced a lot of links. I think it's worth it.
Yeah, definitely seems to be worth it. And he was trapped in there a little bit with his Reapers, wasn't really able to jump down, but second factory going up here as well as 2 command centers. Looks like he might be going mech. Gonna be pretty interesting with that kind of follow-up here. Going to start at least with the Hellions.
Yeah, he's going to Infernal Pre-Igniter it looks like, but the Overlord only saw the 3rd CC, so that was a pretty crafty move to drop that down. The other thing to consider is seeing those gases with the Reaper, he's got to realize that this is going to be a 2-base lair build. The question is, what is Dark doing? Because he goes into double E-base. Double E-bays or double Evo chambers, because if you went double E-bays, that'd be pretty broken. Like how
that would be pretty
how can
crazy,
he get Terran upgrades as a Zerg?
He gets like infantry upgrades for his Zerglings. They get guns somehow. Doesn't make any sense.
It looks like this is going to be a 1-1 Roach timing with speed.
Yeah, very aggressive on this kind of map.
Pretty rare build. We don't really see this anymore because it's, if scouted, all you have to do is make siege tanks at the top of your ramp bunkers and laugh at your opponent and be like, wow, I have a 3rd CC also. Like, what are you going to do? He's going to come over here and see there's no 3rd base. He's going to see the 3rd base is very late. After he already saw this gas, he's probably thinking, oh, maybe 2-base Muta. I'm not really sure. And I think it might even be reasonable to scan in this case because he really doesn't know what's coming. If he goes up there, he's going to see the evolution chambers, which is pretty suspicious. And, okay, this is not a scout scan. This is a creep scan.
Yeah. Does he actually get the vision on those 2 EV chambers with that scan?
I think he sees the edge of it.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to check it.
I mean, that's pretty important to note if he does. Yeah,
he
does see it. So he does know that some kind of 1-1 timing is possible here. And look at this. 2 queens being caught out here on the edge of the creep that was just being cleared. Nice transfuse goes down. And he's actually going to micro it back, but still more Hellions on the way. I feel like Dream actually could have been a bit more aggressive here.
This control, by the way, from Dark, or really, but more so than control, this confidence of those 2 queens is incredible. That's the type of play when I look at this, I'm like, oh, you are so sure you can fight with those 2 queens. And Dream's something like, are you going to fight with these queens? He knows exactly how much damage they can do, the transfuses, and when he needs to move back. And, like, the Hellions don't even try to run by because the queens are out there, and he's just, like, so confident. Well, guess what? Blind counter to Hellions is Roaches, and this is a big problem. He starts a siege taking home immediately, as well as a Marauders realizes, I am in so much trouble. In fact, it almost might behoove him to lift the second factory and start making 2 siege tanks at a time instead of Marauders because he's going to need a lot of firepower at home to defend this.
He's also making 2 Widow Mines at a time. He does not want to fight here right now. He needs to get back to his base. And now that the speed is finished and the +1/+1 is about to finish, starts burrow and burrow movement as well. But look at this. This is so strong. He's having to fight with the SCVs right now. And these Widow Mines have to get the burrow down. He's trying to focus them down. They do get the burrow. And what kind of damage are they going to do? He does split decently with one of those Roaches, but hit a decent hit on the rest of those Roaches.
A bit disappointing that he let the Roaches into that depot, but at the same time, it's actually with the extra AoE damage of the Blue Flame Hellions going to hold this okay. But the damage that's done here is absolutely permanent. He's killed the entire army, all those Hellions, the entire build that Dream committed to has been thwarted. Now there's a 3rd hatchery up. He's going into Infestation Pit, likely for Swarm Host, actually. Burrow movement, +2, and Dream, of course, now going into a bio composition. Of course, this is never really his intent to go mech. Just wanted to see if he could get damage on early. Oh, wow. Gets 2 Widow Mines here for free as well, and everything is going wrong for Dream right now. Dark, in total control of this game, is droning up heavily, knowing that with all those Hellions dead, there's nothing to worry about back at home.
Yeah, Dark's in a very good position here. He even has an Overseer in the base of Dream right now, getting a very nice scout on exactly what's going on. He sees the starport coming up as well. Sees the 3 barracks, knows that bio's on the way.
He's rushing Hive and going into Hydralisks. Now, in this case, I think this actually works out fine. The Roaches here are not going to get in, but getting a little bit of extra scouting info.
Yeah, right at the top of that ramp, they're going to be able to see what kind of army composition is coming out as well.
I was even slowing down medevacs because he knows medevacs are what is going to be great against the Roaches. This, in like the past 2 weeks, we've seen a massive increase in players actually utilizing that contaminate ability. It's really good to see. It's almost shocking we haven't seen it this consistently in the past in Korea. Now, here we go. Roaches come in. I don't think he knows that the turret is just too slow. You can see a little bit of a wave on the ground for this, but if he gets into the main base, and he does, splits into 2 different directions. If he does a little bit of damage here, then follows up with a Hydralisk timing, it could be so much damage. Plus the fact that the Hydras could potentially have 3/3 upgrades because he has that Hive unlocked.
Yeah, he is pulling Dream apart right now. He is forcing Dream to micro so much, multitask so much. And you see Dream trying to fight these Roaches with just his SCVs and a couple of units in there, but it's not really going so well for him. Dark right now taking a 4th base. Dream struggling to keep his 3rd up and keep his SCVs alive in the rest of his bases. Oh, man. Viper's on the way as well.
Yeah, there's the +3 for the Hydras that I was talking about earlier. Vipers with Blinding Cloud plus the range of the Hydralisk. Dream is going to have a tough time here. He's stabilizing a little bit. I mean, his 3rd base is mining, but he doesn't have that upgrade advantage that you would like to have in this matchup. Compositionally, it's tough to say because a army that's mostly Marines actually dies so quickly to a large number of Hydralisks, especially when there's not that many medevacs out. And we saw earlier the Contaminate slowing down that production just a little bit. He's going to have Roaches to tank at the front. Normally with a maxed out Terran army, this composition does not work. But with a maxed out Zerg army long before the Terran is maxed, with Viper support that he's already been able to get out, with Infestors, I don't think he's going to have any problem crushing Dream here. Look at that. Doesn't even need to worry about this. A lot of the time when you have a composition that's based in Hydras, drops can do a lot for you because the Hydras can't fly and chase the drops. So if you catch them like this, it doesn't matter. All the mules he's missing from scanning to deal with the Roaches, just everything has gone wrong. You don't normally get to make this comp as a Zerg because it costs so much gas and it costs so much time while the Terran is constantly harassing you. But the Terran is always behind bunkers, hiding behind his own wall. That's when you get to build something like this.
Yeah. It really comes down to Dark's very early, 1+1/+1 timing with the Roach speed there. He just did so much damage, and Dream has just been on the back of it from there on. And, he's trying to do damage here, but Dark's he's too prepared. He can afford to keep some Roaches back at his base to make sure the harass doesn't go down and have a huge attack at the front as well. Here we go. There's a bunch of Marines, but so many Vipers as well as Roaches and Hydras. Blinding Clouds are going to go down, and I'm not sure if Dream's going to be able to hold this.
See if he decides to grab Siege Tanks. He does. Grabs both of them before they're even done sieging, and there's a Blinding Cloud on most of those Marines. They have to run into Hydralisk on move command, and, well, you guys can see right in front of you just how poorly that goes. The Hydras here will annihilate the rest of the Marines. The command center is gone. Center tower is soon to follow. Just not enough siege tanks, and they are abducted again here. Boom, double abduct, and that's all she wrote, Brendan. The last siege tank over here could be focused out with just a simple right click, and the reinforcements that are back at home are going to not even be needed, to be honest.
A couple of slowlings making their way, very, comedically just coming in there. And a drop trying to do some damage here for Dream, but it's not going to do anything. Dream, from the beginning of the game, not looking so good. Dark playing so fantastically. There's the GG.
Not the most solid game we've ever seen out of Dream, but Dark blind countering his build, the Hellion build with Roaches. And you always got to be a bit suspicious when you go for a Hellion build. Your opponent doesn't have that 3rd base until so long in the gas placement that we saw. I feel like he thought, okay, Mutas, I can get in there and do damage while Mutas are ready. You're not going to have a whole lot. Maybe I can just break through my Hellions versus your Queens. Walks up the ramp with his Hellions, and sup, there's 14, 15 Roaches up there with speed and +1/1. Your Hellions aren't going to do so well against that.
Yeah. I feel like he also wasn't reading all the information that was given to him. I mean, he saw the gas at least one at the natural, and he saw the double Evo chamber, so he may have wanted to think about this possibility, but once you commit to making 2 factories with the blue flame on the way already, it's kind of like you have to try to go up there and do some damage, but once he saw it, he was like, oh, well, what do I do now?
It's just like an unfortunate misread. I really think he listens and goes, all right, Mutas, that's fine. That's weird, but that's fine. I know how to deal with this. And And when you go mutas against this, you can actually just break through with the Hellions a lot of times. If they have a full building wall, you just break through the queens, and it's like, wow, you're really confident with your queens. You even sent the queens out right on creep. So that's kind of a weird tell. But I think looking at this, he was just thinking